G'day, Simon. It's Doug and Frank from Dribbl Sport, mate. How you going?
LeBron?
Correct.
He was unhappy last week.
Oh,
I don't know
might
what
not
he...
be unhappy
I
now.
don't know. Oh,
I've
cool.
heard a Scotsman scream that loud since the bloody tour guide caught the missus give me a...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Dribbl Sport podcast.
What
Believe
episode
it's-
specifically?
Well, I'm going to say it's episode 2 to keep Frank in a good mood this morning. So, Frank, let's talk immediately about sports last week.
Let's do it.
We had some series victories. We'll kick it off with the Blues, the Mighty Blues.
Oh, God, what a game.
New South Wales defeated the Maroons.
What are we, 18-14 or
Yeah,
something?
by a try or two.
It
Look,
felt like it was 30-0.
honestly, they bashed the shit out of him for 80 minutes. One thing that I want to touch on was how great we were
Yeah.
on our live stream. That is still up and available on twitch.com/
No, twitch.tv/dribblesport.
Thank you very much, Frank. We were marvellous. We were probably as good, if not better than the Blues' performance. Anything you want to highlight from that game in particular?
No, it was obviously our first live stream, and it was a lot of fun. It was probably
Yes.
too much fun. Had a few beers, had a big wheel spin, had a lot of input from producer Link, for better or for worse from the viewers. There was some hostile reaction.
Yeah, I will admit it feels pretty good not to be the most hated one on the podcast, just for now at least anyway. So
Yeah.
shout out to producer Link for his efforts again on Wednesday, and Rowan.
But no, the stream was heaps of fun. We had some good stats given it was our first live stream. But in terms of the game, we fucking bashed them for 80 minutes. The scoreline probably did them some favors. They weren't. I don't think Queensland were in it for half a second.
No, they look scared and afraid, Queensland. And like the perfect example of that was how, they had all this talk around Spencer Leniu and he's taking the charge and he was hyping up the fans and getting stuck in him when
Back
into
fence
his
Spence.
warm up, and they didn't even want to kick to him.
That is just a cowardly
And
play,
honestly,
isn't it?
I've always had a bit of a laugh when the Maroons and Maroons fans talk about how we don't get Origin. It's always been like that stupid thing they've had. It's like, honestly, that it doesn't, like, they got no comeback for that.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you justify that?
they cannot.
Yeah.
There is just nothing they can say or do to exactly right.
It's a proper coward move.
I know.
And to be fair, like I think most Queensland fans know that as well because
Yeah.
I've been watching 360 and like all those different sports NRL shows, and they're all saying that. Like even the Queensland fans are going, "Yeah, look, you can't really say like too much to make it make sense." But tell you what, instant win off the bat for the Blues. We go up, we travel, we fucking pump them in their backyard.
Yep.
We fucking destroy him mentally. Back fence Spence. I don't think he did much, but
He doesn't usually do much
no.
besides do exactly what they wanted him to do.
Yeah,
So
correct. But how good's that? Now we go to Perth, where historically we've beat the shit out of them by an average point of about 30 plus. So, yeah, feeling pretty confident as a New South Wales fan, which means probably not a good sign, but we'll see how we go.
yeah, I think that was probably our biggest hurdle for us, trying to beat them in their home turf. And
Definitely.
like you said, we get to go to a place where we're pretty comfortable winning and got a game up our sleeve. So
And $2,000 on New South Wales head to
Oh
head.
yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that doesn't, that'll do a bit too.
Yeah, to be honest, if you tune into our stream, I forgot about most of. I don't even remember much from the game. We were having too much fun here in the studio to actually watch what was going on. But no, congratulations to New South Wales getting win 1. Also in the soccer, the Australian soccer in the A-League, we had the Melbourne City.
Yeah, the derby.
They won the derby in the grand final. They beat Melbourne victory 1-0.
Yep.
I didn't get too much of that game. I did see the highlights though. So congratulations to Melbourne City fans.
Tell you what, I got stuck in traffic around Richmond for about an hour trying to meet you and a couple of mates out prior to that game kicking off. Don't know why the Uber driver thought it was a smart idea to take us through a sold-out Amy Park sort of territory, but he did nonetheless. Just want to give a shout-out to my cousin, Giaupus, who is a major Melbourne City fan, been there since the Hart days.
In fact, he'd probably be the only A-League fan out there.
I'd say he's probably one of the few A-League fans, but definitely only the Melbourne City fan out there. So shout out to him. Big day. They got the dub. Congratulations. Back to relevancy now.
Beautiful. And that pretty much wraps up last week. And now this week in sport, we have plenty on. Very excited. We've got a fair bit on ourselves in regards to some streaming stuff.
Yes.
We've got actually tonight, what day today? Today's Tuesday. This will probably come out Thursday, but tonight the Matildas play Argentina in the soccer. That's just a friendly. And then Thursday we have the Socceroos in the World Cup qualifier against Japan. Now, may not seem exciting to some, but technically if Socceroos were to win Thursday night against Japan, they would qualify for the World Cup unless there was some sort of ridiculous result from another game in their pool. So that for me is...
Was Japan on your most hated list?
They are, and they will always be. They will remain in that top 3 for most hated. As I said, we always struggle to beat Japan on the international level.
Quality outfit.
When they put their best team on the park, they are hard to
Quality
beat.
outfit.
Quality outfit for sure. But again, that'll be in Perth Thursday night, so we'll probably do something around that potentially.
It's a bit of a grudge match here.
Bit of a grudge match for sure. Allies v Axis of the old. And we have the NHL finals kicking off this week, the Stanley Cup, it's called for those who are new to the game. We've got the Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers. It's actually a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup.
Yep.
And it's the second time in the last 40 years that teams have gone back-to-back to play each other in the Stanley Cup.
Wowee. Can you tell me the two star players from each team, like one of each?
Yes, I can. So the Edmonton Oilers star player is Connor McDavid. He's probably renowned as probably the best player or one of the best players in the NHL.
Yep.
He actually won the, let's call it the Clive Churchill. He won the best player of the series in last year's Stanley Cup, although Florida actually won it last year.
I've heard that last name, McDavid.
Yes, and for the Florida Panthers, look, Alexander Barkov is my favourite. He's their forward. He scores a shitload of points and goals for the Panthers, so he'll be one to keep an eye on for this series.
Okay.
But yeah, mate, very exciting stuff. And for the NBA, Frank, do you want to...
Yeah, so we got the finals kicking off on Friday. Friday morning here in Australia. Obviously, the Pacers ended up beating the Knicks. I think it was 4-2. Yeah, that didn't come back to haunt them, which is luckily for Tyrese Halliburton. But they take on the Thunder, who really haven't been tested yet, doesn't feel like. No. They haven't really... gone to a close game 7 or even a game 6, really. I think they pumped the Nuggets 4-1 or 4-2 as well. So
a lot of coin respecters in the Thunder as well.
There is, yeah. We've been back in, SGA and Naz and Timberwolves. But yeah, Naz Reid's been a classic. But I'm pretty keen for that series. I'm hoping it's competitive. We're going to do a live stream on Friday watching that, so that'll be pretty interesting. Who are you backing? What do you think about the final series?
I will be going for the Thunder. They haven't won I don't think, actually, the Pacers won one. Potentially, but not in a long time if they have anyway. But the Thunder haven't won a championship yet under their franchise, so... I mean, I'm backing them. They've got a young team, a lot of players that sort of aren't as reputable as most of these big brands. That's what I would love to see. Like, you wouldn't have picked Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm sick of seeing the Lakers and the Warriors and the Nuggets. So, yeah, I'm going for some fresh blood with the Thunder team myself.
You know what's a shame, too, is that Giddey was on this squad, last year. They traded him for Caruso. But imagine Giddey running. I mean, he probably doesn't want to run the second, the bench outfit because that's what he'd be doing right now. But... imagine if he was on the sideline, the Thunders, SGA and that check out, he checks in.
That's right.
Dude, they'd be fucking dominant.
100%. Like
seriously dominant.
Always good to see Aussies thriving on the sport. Mind you, Alex Caruso has been massive for them.
Yeah, he's been all right. They just got so many points in him. I'm going to be interested to see how the Pacers keep up with them, but it also seems like the Pacers got a bit of chip on their shoulder. I think everyone pretty much wrote them off going into any final series, and now they've, dominated a couple of good teams. So, yeah, it's going to be a good final series, I think. Pretty keen.
On Sunday, we've got the UFC. That would be over in your wheelhouse.
Yes, back to my wheelhouse. UFC 316. Yep. We have Merab Dvalishvili taking on Sean O'Malley, the rematch that literally no one asked for or wanted, but we are getting. Things co-main invented by Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison. So
I feel like I've seen her fight 17 times in the last
Who's
year.
that?
Pena.
Yeah, well, I think she had before that. She had like 3 years off, and now at least she's fighting with some regularity now. It's good. Good for the division. Should be a decent scrap. I mean, she can't fight for shit, but Kayla Harrison's a bloke, so should be pretty good, I think. That'll kick off main card, probably 12 midday-ish here in Australia on Sunday.
Yep.
So we're going to live stream the main card, the pay-per-view.
Beautiful.
On the Sunday, which should be a bit of fun. Probably bash the fuck out of each other.
Yep.
And have a bit of fun. What do you reckon about the pay-per-view? Any early thoughts?
Nah, not for me particularly. Like I said, I do recall last time having a heavy amount of money on Sean O'Malley to beat Merab, and geez, he honestly wasn't even within a sniff, I thought. Merab just threw him around for fun, literally trolling people in the crowd as he was wrestling him, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised as he does, and I'm not expecting him to go too differently this time. The other fights I probably couldn't give you too much expert insight, so I'll leave that for you.
Yeah, we'll touch on them a bit later as well. We'll go through some odds and some analysis, but we'll touch on that later anyway.
Yeah. Nevertheless, we've got a shitload of sports on this week, and especially for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be very exciting. So
yeah, what do you reckon we kick us off with the sports quiz?
Yeah, I reckon so. Let's. Given that it's the finals for the NBA and the NHL, I thought we'd do a little bit of a basic knowledge quiz for the NBA. Some of these questions our viewers might not even know.
Yeah. And
for that of which we're going to give the insights now. So we got producer Link in back play here. He's got a sports quiz governed to us by Sports GPT.
Sorry, but it'd be remiss of us not to say, producer Link, how you going? Of course. How are you this morning?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I've had my first coffee, so I'm into it.
That's good. That makes one of us. Thanks, guys. Sports quiz. What are we thinking?
I'm ready to go. I got seven questions hot off the Sports GPT, ready to go.
Righto.
Watch GPT.
So how this is going to work is it's going to be a best of 7 styled questionnaire. So obviously, first to 4 out of 7 wins the questionnaire.
Yep.
And let's see how this goes.
We also have no idea what are they multiple choice? Are they one answer?
They're flat out one answer.
Okay.
Alright.
Are we
We should
Frank.
probably.
Our names
we
are our
are we
buzzers.
franking?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
copy?
Oh, first to the buzzer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So our names are our buzzers.
Yep.
We'll let you decide who's first.
All right.
And then a wrong answer goes to the other guy.
Yep.
Correct.
Easy. Are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
Born.
Our first question is which team won the 2024 NBA
Doug.
Finals?
Denver Nuggets.
Frank. Boston Celtics.
Frank's got it.
Fuck's sake. When did the Nuggets win it? 2 years ago.
Boston Celtics claimed an NBA record 18th championship.
Well done.
Goes up early. Love
Yep.
that.
That
good
was
start.
the one producer Rowan said was going to be easy.
Oh dear.
Not for me.
I answered that before the question. I said Celtics before that question.
All right. Not everyone's a basketball expert like you, producer Rowan. That's why it's a basic knowledge
All right.
quiz.
All right.
One zip.
Second question. Who captured the NBA's most valuable player award for the
Frank.
2024?
Oh, 2024. I've got
Yep. Jason Tatum.
Any follow up to that?
Nikola Jokic.
You both wrong.
Okay.
2024.
2024-2025 season.
Shea Gillis
Oh,
Alexander.
of course.
Shea Gillis Alexander.
Thinking
I
last
keep
year.
forgetting. It's why American sports are stupid. They do half years.
Stupid.
Just
Yeah.
pick a year.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave that. That's their
1-1.
fault, not ours. Yeah, 1-1.
In which arena and city will the
God.
2025 NBA All-Star Game be played?
Oh, I've got no idea. Frank.
Go on.
I'm going to go one of the new places. I feel like they've built these new, I'm going to say the word domes. Intuit Dome. LA Clippers.
Incorrect.
I got no idea.
I'm going to have one stab at it, and then I reckon we go past, potentially, unless you've only got 7 questions. I'm going to go Las Vegas. Everything's gone to Vegas.
That's
They've
a
just
good
moved
call.
WrestleMania
Yeah,
back
it's a
to
good call.
Vegas next year. I'm going to go Vegas.
What team?
Well, there's no Vegas NBA team. It'd be the Las Vegas Liberty or Aces, I think, in the WNBA.
Is that the answer?
It is not.
What? Just because they've got a team, that doesn't mean it's not going to be there. It's the All-Star.
I think you said there's a team name, didn't
Did
you?
ya?
No.
Yeah, see, I'm listening good.
I said which arena
In
and
city.
city.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, go again. I'm going to go again.
All right, go on.
Back up. Okay. Let me think about this. Big teams.
Shot clock here.
Yeah.
3.
2, 1. Oklahoma City.
All right, I reckon we just pass on this question because there's a lot of cities in America.
What's the answer?
Can you give us the answer, though?
It is Chase Center, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Who wants to go there?
Yeah, I know who.
Who?
Marvin?
Question 4.
Oh dear.
What is the name of the brand new arena that became the Los
name.
Angeles
Frank.
Clippers? Go
Frank.
on.
Last question. Intuit Dome.
Correct.
Yeah.
Frank, spam me that buzzer over there.
I would have
Well
been
done,
spewed
well
if you got that off my last answer.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't thinking fast enough.
Question 5. Who is the NBA's all-time leader in made three-pointers, becoming the first? to
Doug.
pass-
Frank. Fuck.
Stephen Curry.
Correct.
It's good. It's good.
First to pass 4,000 career makes in 2025.
Thank
It's
you,
good.
Link.
Yep,
That's awesome.
Great answer.
Question 6.
Yes.
Which active head coach owns the most regular season wins entering the 2025 playoffs? Which active head coach owns the most regular season wins entering the 2025 playoffs?
Frank?
Oh,
I
I,
don't
think
even know who
I
he
think
is.
I know the answer,
Go
but
on,
I think
Frank.
No,
it's
I don't know the head coach name. Fuck's sake.
I think I know who it is, but I don't know if he's retired last year or this year.
I'm just going to say the only coach I know, Joe Mazzulla. It's not him.
It's not him.
Incorrect.
Is it Greg Popovich?
It is.
Yes. San Antonio Spurs, the old cunt with the grey hair.
He has
You
the
know
most
his
active
face.
wins.
He's coached for fucking 40 years straight.
Wowee.
Yeah.
I mean, Spurs wouldn't have been in my top 50 guesses.
Oh, like 5 years ago, they won like 2 in a row.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, they've been good.
All right.
What's that? Is that 3-2?
3-2, yeah. Last question.
3-2.
Need a tie.
Oh, I'll have to fire up a tiebreaker if you get this.
And you will.
Which French forward was chosen first overall by the Atlanta Hawks in the 2024 NBA draft?
Atlanta Hawks.
Oh
last
my
year.
god, I know his fucking face. And
Atlanta Hawks last year.
yeah, I know who this is.
Does it start with a G, producer Link?
It does not.
Fuck.
Oh my god, I know who he plays for. I can see his face. He doesn't play for them anymore, I don't think.
Which French forward was chosen first overall by the Atlanta Hawks in the 2024 NBA draft?
French. Fuck, I hate French.
It's 2024. It's this year, so he still plays for the Hawks.
Aren't we in 2025?
Yeah, but it's this 24-25 season.
Jeez, I don't know. I've got no idea there.
No, I don't really like the French, as you would have noticed in my last video. I'm gonna go pass.
Yeah, well, really, Frank needs it because
Yeah, it does.
he's losing.
French forward. Can you give me a hint, producer Link?
He's got a pretty white first name.
John.
Incorrect.
Frank.
Incorrect.
Can you give us his first name?
Yes, give us his first name.
I'll give you the first letter of his first
Oh,
name.
that's
'cause
not good
I
enough.
think it's a good hint. Z.
Zach Richer.
That's it.
Yes! I don't know if that's how it's pronounced.
Sports
Richer.
GPT says it's Zacher.
That'll work.
No, I wouldn't. That's probably a half point.
I mean, half point works.
All
so we
right,
don't have to
tiebreaker.
go
This
to-
is what it's all about. This is podcasting gold right here.
This is tiebreaker territory. He's got to fire up Sports GPT real quick.
That's all right.
I've said one more question, please.
What does everyone think about Sports GPT as a name? Do we like that?
As a podcast.
Copyright Dribbl Sport 2025.
All right, tiebreaker. Fuck. Nervous times.
Come on.
Just fucking be patient, would you?
The suspense is killing me.
We're on 0-3 here. It's really got to think about it. Ooh, all right.
Uh-oh.
I think this is going to be an easy one.
Okay.
It's going to be first to the buzzer.
Okay.
Who was unanimously voted NBA Rookie of the Year 2023-2024 season?
No,
Doug. Shea Gillis-Alexander.
Incorrect.
Fuck.
Rookie.
Question to you, Frank.
Rookie of the year. What? Okay. No, I'm not going to ask a lead up. I'm going to ask a lead up.
No, you can't
Okay,
ask a
right.
fucking leader.
Peyton Pritchard.
Incorrect.
What? That's the worst answer ever. Jeez, people.
Says
people-
SGA.
Well, he was a rookie last year, wasn't he?
Well, he would have won it if he was.
Maybe he didn't. Unanimous.
Team?
No, that's too much, I think. I think we got to think about this.
He's got a long surname.
Fuck, people are going to be watching this going,
You
sure it's
stupid
easy.
fucks.
Well, we're not NBA experts on this podcast. It's basic knowledge. The 2020 unanimous. Who the fuck was a rookie last year? All right, I'm happy to go to team if you are. Because
Please.
I feel like it's going to go quick.
Please.
I don't know the team.
This is just great podcasting right here. What
me
are we
just-
doing?
Let me just fire up
We don't
another
know
question.
the fucking answers. Luke doesn't know the questions. We're
You
fucking
got one
blind leading
fucking
the
job
blind
back there.
here.
Whilst it loads another question, the answer was Victor.
Oh,
Wembanyama.
Wemby. Of
Oh, of
course. Fuck.
Fuck. I didn't even know he was a rookie last year. If it was the year before that.
So dumb.
Well, it was the 2023-2024 season, so
This was the year before.
No, it's not, you fucking idiots. We just said this. It's last year. We did. Well, I
So
know
3
you're
years
blind.
ago, yeah?
Yeah. So 4 years ago.
okay. This one is
All
gonna
right,
be
here we
an
go,
easy one.
people.
dear.
You're on the edge of your seats for
I know this
finale.
is thrilling podcasting right now.
Just for me.
Which NBA superstar became the first player in league history to reach 40,000? Go on.
LeBron?
Correct.
To reach 40. I was
40,000
going
career
to say,
points.
what is that going to be? 40,000.
Had to be points.
Wait, he was the first person to reach 40,000 points.
First player in league history to reach 40,000 career points, doing so on March 2nd/3rd, weirdly, 2024.
We were so due a fucking LeBron
I know. I was
answer.
going to say. Yeah, right. Okay. I would have thought maybe the youngest, not the first. All right. Well, there you go. Frank is the NBA expert on this panel. Good for him.
Sorry about those 5 minutes there. That is 5 minutes you will never get back.
I think the suspense was great.
That's good stuff.
Alrighty, well, Frank, congratulations, mate. You are an NBA expert. Well done there. Just gets across
Thank you,
the
sir.
line there.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty,
Feels
now we'll
good.
bounce back into something that we're a bit more knowledgeable about, and that is the AFL recap for last week.
We're going to zoom through this.
Yes, we are, because half of these games weren't that exciting, and we're just going to cut them straight out of the equation.
Yep.
Including this first game, Brisbane 90, Essendon 72. Frank, anything to say?
Essendon went better than I thought they would, but still, fuck Essendon in 2025. I'm not going to say go Brisbane, but
Thought about it.
Yeah,
no, Brisbane in cruise control. Essendon is shit for mine. Moving on to the next, we had Collingwood v Hawthorn. Collingwood 107, Hawthorn 56. Doug's double copped another L there.
Yep.
I had a lot of advice from the experts all around Dribbl Sport follower land saying that Hawthorn were it. 1-39 was too risky, but little did we know Collingwood would go out win by 50-something points. And a direct message to the Hawthorn fans and their football club.
Please look down the barrel of the camera and deliver this. Deliver this message to the Hawthorn faithful.
Look, Hawthorn, I've got nothing against the suburb, the food, the people, unless they're walking around in their Hawthorn scarves, because I saw a lot of people leaving the game early, 3/4, 2/4 in, and I'm sick of like all the cool TikTok mods and vids I'm seeing on Instagram, TikTok. Your team's shit. Your midfield is very, very bad. I said this in the week. Garden Gnomes could play on your forward line because they are the same height. Mind you, Jack Ginnivan had a good game. That's one gnome. There's another one who didn't touch the ball for majority of that game. His name is Nick Watson. Seems to go missing anytime there's a hard team against him. Kind of like the rest of the team. So, Hawthorn, not a top 4 team. I'd be surprised if they make the 8. It's getting it's getting tight up there. Hawthorn, you're on big fraud watch.
You're on massive fraud alert. I don't think they had this in the documentary script that they filmed last year.
No.
Which for mine is just a terrible play.
And another thing, Collingwood are going to win the flag. Lock it up and throw it away.
It certainly appears that way so far. That was just a bashing. I know you were at the game. I watched from home, but the legs that Collingwood had compared to Hawthorn, they were all over them. They were more effort, more intensity, more pressure, more everything.
I know Hawthorn had a bad game, but they haven't been, like I said, last 3 weeks they've played top 4 teams. It's a tough run, but you're supposed to show what you can.
They also had a soft as shit run before that. So
that's right.
It's part of the game.
They just, just doesn't seem they can match it with the top teams. And then there's still time to go back for Collingwood. Tom Mitchell had like 35, 40 in the VFL last week. He's still got to find a way in this team. Pretty scary stuff. I'm petrified personally. I think they're going to wrap it up. But on to the next one. Gold Coast, Suns 64. They lost to Freo 75. Blowed me out of the water there. I don't know how Freo have done this to beat Gold Coast at home.
I've just got nothing for this one. I mean, just typical Freo, right? The game you think they should have no chance in, they win.
Yeah, no,
I don't get it.
I'm baffled.
I don't get it. I don't know how to fucking break this team down.
Yep, not much to say there. A bit of a worrying game there for Gold Coast. We had the Giants beating Richmond. It was an inspirational victory. Mind you, they should have won by 400. Of course, you would have probably seen online that Callan Ward there. I don't think he's their skipper at the moment, but he's definitely been a skipper there for a long time.
Just a stalwart.
Stalwart, one of the original players, founding players back in the day.
And this is a team, not a team. This is a team I think we can all agree that we fucking despise, right? Being Sydney fans.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to agree there, but go on.
GWS? No?
Oh, you got to like the story. You got to like the story.
As a club, this is a team. This is a club we can all agree that we don't like, okay? And that's fine. We can agree on that, right?
We just said we wouldn't agree, but go on.
So we agree on that. But Callan Ward is a player that I think we can all agree that we like.
Yeah.
So as much as we hate those pricks in orange, he's not one that we hate. So to see an old boy go down with an ACL and probably finish his career up in that manner is very, very unfortunate. He gets my player of the round just out of respect. He didn't do much, obviously. He went down in the first quarter to an ACL.
But it's his speech at three-quarter time that got him that.
That's correct. So, what he didn't do on the field, he did plenty of off the field. And he fired him up. They come back from a 40-point differential.
That's right.
Bash the fuck out of Richmond in quarter 4, which they should have done throughout every quarter.
Yep.
But GWS get the win, as we thought they should.
Yep, like I said, they should have wrapped it up early, but happy to see. It was an entertaining game at least. When I saw Callan Ward limping out on crutches for that three-quarter time speech, geez, I had some fire in my belly.
Yeah, that'll bring
what it done to the playing group.
That'll make a grown man cry right there.
That's right. And also, who else did we have? We had this. Oh God.
For God's sake.
We're gonna have to touch on it.
Touch on it.
We didn't. We predicted it. We fucking predicted it.
Yeah.
Adelaide beat Sydney 131-41. It was 70-0 or something. At some stage, it was like 70 points to a goal.
9, I think.
9?
Yeah. Look, I could rant and rave.
Honestly, look down the barrel and deliver a message to the Sydney fan, like,
Okay.
because it's long overdue.
Yeah.
Like, we've
Look, here on the podcast, there's been elements of doubt and not just doubt, but I think we've given them a pass a few times. A lot of injury, new coach. That sometimes that stuff takes time to nurture.
correct.
However, that's gone because I am fed up, I'm frustrated, and I am really fucking annoyed, to be quite honest, with this team. That was a pathetic effort. Look, I get Adelaide's a good side. I get they have a very good forward pack. But you get Melican, you've got McCartan, you've got a couple of your key defenders down back. You just cannot be conceding 131 points and scoring 41. But what is to be expected when you have idiots like Joel Hamling,
Joel Amati. And also
Hayden McLean kicked a goal, probably not our worst. Peter Laddams, one of our better players. Like, what are we doing here?
How about this, Sydney Swans social media?
Yeah.
How about instead of celebrating Dane Rampy's 35th birthday,
and
fuck him off back to UNSW where he belongs. Because
correct.
He has been awful. He's old, he's bad, and he's letting this team down. Or just him,
and
all
just
22 players.
And just focus on the right things, like less rainbow flags, raving around, and fucking more effort. Because like we say every week, you can make it, look at this Richmond team. They lost to GWS.
Correct.
Probably hurts. But they had 3 quarters where they're bashing the fuck out of this team. So as a fan, you go home and you go, I got a shit club at the moment. They're developing. Unfortunately, we're not in that category because we have decent players and we're fucking 4th last and we've won 4 games in 2025.
That's right.
And I am sick of it.
We are literally 1 game out of the bottom 4.
It's a joke.
1 game out of the bottom 4.
How do we go from the grand final to this? Tell you what, as a fan, it's frustrating.
Yeah, quick shout out to all the Sydney Swan casuals up in Sydney, preferably the ones that go and drink wine at the game and get on Hinge.
Yeah, mingle.
It was good to see the crowd back to empty for the Swans game. So
yeah, once again, I'm glad Sydney Swans are putting the effort in the right places, like I said, the flags and the mingle app.
Yeah, that's good.
Focus on the fucking footy.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm with you there. And then we had in St Kilda.
I've just deafened Link.
Yeah, so there goes the years. Sorry there, podcast listeners, if you're still with us. St Kilda 91, Melbourne 63. Not much to talk about there. I didn't think Melbourne would put up a better fight than that.
I
but
didn't
they
watch
didn't.
a second of it. Did you?
No, I didn't because I was at the pub.
If you think I'm ending my Sunday with that game,
Nah, that's right.
you are deluded.
I was watching the Bunnies and the Wars.
You're so off.
Player of the round, Frank had Callan Ward
just
out of
respect.
Just out of respect. I had Steele Sidebottom for the Magpies. I'll continue to pick Pies players every week because they are fucking really good and good to watch. Steele Sidebottom is about 49 years old, had 27 disposals, 2 goals, 5 tackles, and a couple clearances there. So that was
I can't believe the form that guy's in still.
Honestly, it's great.
He's so good at hitting targets and just like the way he kicks the ball is so random and he just hits targets every time. It's
Anzac Day specialist.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's in great form still.
Well, that wraps up the AFL for the week. Now, there is a certain someone who has been absolutely hammering our inbox on Instagram, and unfortunately, it's because a certain team had a victory on the weekend. You all know him. We're going to get him on the phone here just to have a little chat with him. So
let's see who we've got.
Let's see how this goes for starters.
Let's see who we've got.
How's that sound, Producer Link?
Sounds great.
Thanks, mate. Let's try and get through to him. Excellent podcast.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Well, that doesn't sound like...
So who are we talking to?
Look, we are trying to get on the phones to Simon from Grafton. Let's give him
there
one
is
more
a bit of
call
rain.
here.
Maybe the water line.
Yeah, yeah.
Turn off the power tools, mate. Sorry. Grafton Jip Rocking, Simon speaking.
Yes, g'day, Simon. It's Doug and Frank from Dribbl Sport, mate. How you going?
Well, and this may be the first time I'm actually happy to speak to you fellas, I'll tell you. I've had a fantastic weekend. Canterbury Bulldogs without a loss. They have the bye, mind you, but a couple of great signings coming through for the Canterbury Bulldogs. They've been busy over the weekend. And hope the Fremantle Dockers want to win.
Yes, the Dockers were very impressive, I must say, mate. How did you and Janine celebrate?
Oh, well, I don't want to say too much, mate, but may have signed the leg over. It's been a while, but geez, I was up and about.
That's very good. It must feel good to see Joel Hamling performing so poorly for Sydney and watching them getting flogged, and just seeing your man Murphy Reid having an absolute blinder week in and week out.
Well, mate, I'll never like to wish ill upon any former Freo player. He served us well in his time in Perth, and it is good to see the squad go down. I mean, what a rubble. I mean, Dean Cox, they should have known. A former West Coast player himself, and the bloke's got no idea.
Yes, no, mate. It's tough times for us here in the Dribbl.
Seriously, they've been absolutely stuffed at home to the Crows. They can't even kick a score through the B6.
Mate, we've got a bit of a bone to pick with Dane Rampy. How do you think he's holding himself, mate? Is it rumoured to be true that you might have played Dane Rampy in a game of football back in the day before he moved to the Swans?
Oh, well, mate, I'm well beyond his years, and I can tell you, if I had lined up against him, I'll tell you, he would not be playing for the Sydney Swans. He'd be playing back in Deep 3 footy back in wherever the fuck he's from, mate. Probably some country down in Victoria.
That's good.
Well, that's very good.
And fellas, sorry to cut you off there, Dave, but what about the signing for the Bulldogs? The galvaniser.
Oh, mate, that's
right into the halves.
It is a very trendy subject in this podcast because I can't stand the look of it personally. I don't understand how you can just leave a team that you're signed a contract with for a duration of time just to rock up to the best team in the comp and straight into the halves. What about, how do you feel about for Toby Sexton, mate?
Poor
What's
Toby.
Poor Toby. He's taken him there this far, and what, he's just going to get shafted to the side for this unproven young fella just to take the reins. How do you think it's going to go?
Oh, mate, a couple of things there. Well, the galvaniser, he's seen the light. I mean, he doesn't want to hang around at a sinking ship, which how can you blame him? Seriously, the hype that was going around that football club pre-season, and look at them, they're a rubble as well. He's seen the light. He likes what he sees down there in Belmore, and who could blame him? Toby Sexton, he can get fucked, mate. I mean, arguably, he's just been a passenger this season. We've got a great player in Burton, who I think he slides back centre now, and I think they throw the galvaniser in there, and young Mitchell Woods coming through the ranks. I like the look on the horizon here, fellas.
So question, Simon, if Birdo is to shift into the centres, are you telling me one of Crichton and Sherry has to get the arse?
Well, mate, I don't know if he's got shit for brains, but Sherry's next cycle's coming up, and it's only a matter of time before he gets busted again. Just you have a look at his sock drawer. I think you'll find a couple of sharp objects, and it's only a matter of time before I start to catch up with him.
Okay.
That's fair enough, mate. Well, look, Simon, that's about as much time as we have for you this week. We'd like to thank you always for your engagement. Personally, I'm praying on the downfall of both of your football teams, and I hope you get fucked.
Well, you're an idiot, mate. And look, if you want my advice, don't double this weekend. Back Freo, back the Canterbury Bulldogs, mate, and you won't go wrong.
Love that.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you, Simon.
Cheers, Simon. Have a good one, mate.
Go and get fucked.
And that was podcast stalwart Simon from Grafton.
He's one of the great operators in Dribbl Sport.
He's very good. We're always happy to have him on the line. So thank you, Simon, if you're watching.
Thank you, Simon. And I think that leads us very nicely into the NRL recap, which again we'll be speeding through.
Please do.
So Friday night we had Franks Phillip go down. We had the Dragons defeating the Knights 20-6. Fletcher Sharp was Franks Phillip. Fletcher was not particularly sharp that night, unfortunately.
It's a tough job, putting out these live podcast bets. Let me tell you, I've been doing it for multiple weeks in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is we cashed a fuckload of slips in the group. It just didn't happen to be the one that got put out to the public, which
that's true.
Is a shame, but I'll, full accountability, put my hand up. It's not good enough, and we'll get him this week for sure. Knights just shambolic, absolutely shambolic football club at the moment. I don't know what has to change there, but I mean, quite a bit has to change. They got nothing in offense. They are conceding 20 points to the Dragons,
who stink.
And Clint Gutherson's winning the Dally M, allegedly.
Nah, there's no way he's beating your boy.
No, it's Luke Metcalf all day, but Gutho's, sniffing up behind.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I only saw the second half of this game, and it was about as fun as a funeral for me.
Yep.
I was too busy enjoying the Pies game. So
Yeah, shambolic. Leads us into the next game. We had the Titans defeated by the Storm 28-16. Frank's Titans put in a pretty good shift. They actually were, I believe, pretty much even at a point. Jaden Campbell went into fullback and Foran came into the halves, and so did Weaver. And they actually looked all right, to be quite honest with you, but Storm just too classy. My boy Grant Anderson, Pookie, just too good.
Yes, scored a good try.
He did. Length of the field intercept. Had a double, I believe. Sua Falongo had a double too. Wasn't a terrible game, all things considered.
Yeah, beautiful.
Could be worse. Next game of the week we had at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. The Cowboys 32 defeating the Tigers 28. Doug, thoughts?
On the Cowboys-Tigers game?
Yes.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think I've seen this game 400 times this year. Did anyone score on John Bateman?
Just
I
every...
saw John Bateman score.
John Bateman did get a try.
I did see that.
I don't know if not Polo, the other one.
Pole Smoker.
Yeah, Pole Smoker didn't go over, but conceding, 32 points, 28 points, high scoring. It's pretty much what you'd expect from these two.
Yep.
Nothing particularly to note. Like, Luai got 10 in the bin. So did Dewey. Tigers probably
DeWahey
should have won, all things considered, after they, the way they were steaming home. But Cowboys just too much point. They do have a lot of points in the Cowboys on their night when they put it together. But they're both shit football clubs, so interesting.
Yep, very nice.
Next game of the week, we had an absolute bashing. This was only going to go one of two ways, a bashing either way. It was just which team was going to get the bashing. Manly 34, bash the Broncos 6.
I didn't think Broncos were going to get bashed by fucking 28 points.
Yeah, this
math.
is just typical Manly territory. They play at Four Pines. They play a team that's low on confidence, and they bash them.
Yeah,
it's the Manly textbook at the moment.
it's all just unfolding in front of the Broncos, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
I
would
don't know.
love to see what's going to happen with this club over the next 12 months with people coming and going, because
I don't know.
starting to hear a lot of unhappy players rumors from Broncos land.
Haas rumoured to pretty much everywhere.
Hopefully,
Reece Walsh back in this week. I don't know. Don't know what fixes him. I don't think it's Madge. I really don't know, though. The culture up there
but I
does
feel
seem
like
a bit
ever
fucked.
since South, every club he's gone to has gone to shit.
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
Like, maybe not as harsh. He's had a fucking stiff run with the Tigers and that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Broncos of last year and the year before, like, hello, people. This is like a top 4 team, and like,
They got a good team and they play good in spurts, but they're just not putting it together at the moment. I do think Walsh will play decent with Ezra. I mean, we'll talk about this a bit in the preview, but Broncos just low and probably not going to get much better, obviously, with Origin next week after next. Like, they're going to lose more players again, so pretty worrying signs
yep,
for the Bronx. But as a Sydney fan, I'm all here for it.
Yep, beautiful.
Next game of the week, Doug, you'll be touching on this one, I assume.
Yes.
Souths go down 30-36 to the Warriors.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a pretty exciting game. I mean, a lot of exciting full field tries for both teams.
It's a great game.
Yeah, good to see Alex Johnson back out there scoring on his left wing at a call. Mind you, might not be the left wing for South so much longer with the move to Trellian's, linking to be getting closer and closer by the week. Possibly before the end of the year, they could be there. Correct.
Say that again.
So South are rumoured to be moving to Allianz potentially before the end of this year. Maybe definitely next year, I've heard. So there's actually a live petition out on SouthSydneyFootball.com if you want to go out there and leave a little petition. I personally wanted to go to Allianz Stadium because Homebush is a shithole and keep me as far away from those Bulldogs fans as I can. But look, we put up a great effort. Mind you, this is a top 4 team we're versing here at full strength, and we've got a lot of players out still. I say that every week, but it's true.
And there was a couple more that went down, like Humper had a corky, went off at the end.
Yeah, that worries me. Hopefully he stays this week because, like I said, we've got Whiten and Walker. But then again, if we have both of them coming back, do we risk him? But also, we need to put our full team in the park in their positions.
I think he'll be all right after a corky.
I think so too.
Should come good.
And I'm pretty sure Ty Munro is not too far off. But look, it was a great game. Proud of this team every week. And on to the next. We've got top 4 for the next 3 games, or we had Warriors the next 3 weeks, the other top 4.
I think Kaloa Matagi was pretty impressive again.
He will play Origin game too. I'm picking it.
With
Barnett
Barnett
doing his
out.
ACL, Keon has to be next in.
Yeah, there's a few ways they can go, but Keon's for sure one of them at the moment. He's just playing elite
I think only because of the move to front row, I would have probably picked Ola Kawhi. Was he in the squad game 1?
No,
he was reserve, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was in the extended squad.
Because of what Keon's been doing in the front row of late.
Yeah, you're not going to put Pomoli in the front.
No, that's right. And I think because he's been great in the front row for Souths, I think he has to be.
Well, it's either him or Terrell May. So
yeah, well, Don't think shit for brains is much better than Keon.
We'll see. But again, just a pretty classy performance from the Warriors. They're just edging it out and doing enough. Like Luke Metcalf again was great. He missed a few.
We've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. Here it is.
He missed a few kicks, obviously, which could have widened the margin. But he just comes big, like in those moments when he took that screwed out a dummy half around the field and scored. Like you guys were pumping him. You're putting pressure on him, and that just changed it. And they were on the front gear again. So. He's just a big player, man. He's doing good stuff at the moment. Warriors just performing great. I'm just really impressed. And I'm impressed by the Rabbits too, like big points and not a full squad. So I don't think any team loses stock there. So pretty impressive from both guys.
Yep.
Next game of the week, we had the Eels 18 defeating the Panthers 18 defeating the Eels 10. Not much to touch on here. It was the battle of the kicking game, really, which the commentators did not shut the fuck up about the whole time. I didn't take much away from this, to be quite honest. Lomax kicked a Lomax over and over. He did pretty well. I thought Tom Jenkins did pretty well to defend his wing. But the Panthers, Cleary just, took him up a notch. They needed that win, desperately. Yeah. They really did need that win. And Eels go, snakes and ladders, back down the bottom. Good to see.
Well, we love to see him.
Yep. And last game of the week, we had, to be fair, this Sunday of footy was a pretty good Sunday of footy. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, they're all 3 games. Have we had 3 games on?
Not in a while, but this one was good. I mean, besides the Penrith, you could have swapped that out, but Roosters and Raiders. The Raiders defeat the Roosters 26-24. Great game. Another great game. Tries galore. Marky Mark in the air. Just fantastic. Obviously has to work on his, catching the ball on the ground.
He gets up there.
But he does jump high. Him and Tupou, probably the 2 best wingers in the comp. Historically. And,
for sure. If it was like a mediocre winger competition, yeah.
And the Raiders they're a gritty side, man. They really are. They're never out of a scrap. Did it without Jamal Fogarty, obviously the young gun, Ethan Sanders, who will be taking over next year. They got raps on this kid pretty highly. And I thought for, their first performance, it was pretty impressive. So
they're going to have an Ethan Strange and an Ethan Sanders combo.
Correct, in the halves.
Very nice.
Yep. And they'll have an Owen Paddy, who...
Hamburger
is my player of the round, Owen Paddy. Very impressed with this kid. Saw him in the trials, scored 2 tries in the trials. Hasn't really got a proper crack. He's been coming on for about 30 minutes week to week, but got about 55 to 60 this week with Starling out. Danny Levi started. He came on in probably the 30th minute and played like a good 50-minute stint.
Danny Levi came on as well.
Danny Levi started and Owen Paddy came on.
So Starling didn't play?
Suspended, so he didn't play this round.
I was going to say, so obviously I know he's been playing hooker, but they've just re-signed Starling.
Did they re-sign him?
Starling's re-signed.
Yeah, because they re-signed Brayley. They signed Brayley. Yeah, Jaden Brayley. I don't know
I'm telling you, they just re-signed Starling. I saw it in the thing the other week. I wasn't wondering unless Paddy's going to play somewhere else.
I think Paddy's the long-term option for sure. This kid's a gun. He's got kicking game. He's defensively. Dude, he put a shot on fucking Spencer Leniu. Put Spencer on his ass.
Yep.
He set up that try for Joe Tarpany, who fucking stole it from Owen Paddy. Let's be honest. Put a grubber through the line. Should have scored, but Joe Tarpany can have the spoils there. Just really impressive. He was my player of the round. Young gun doing young gun things.
Very nice.
Who'd you have?
Me, I had Chance Klokstad for the player of the week. He had like 4 billion running, but he was good. Like I said, Luke Metcalf was good, but I was never going to give him player of the week.
Yeah,
I just thought Chance sort of made more of an impact with his defense and also his run meters.
Yeah, he was very, very good. Yep. Took the line on a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the better performances I've seen.
That's right. And he gets a pretty bad rap, obviously, with all the RTS stuff and fullback. But no, I think he's really fucking done well there.
I still think RTS is wasted on the wing. It just looks wrong.
But is he just not old and shit now? Maybe. Doesn't score many tries, does he?
Maybe. I don't know. I've got nothing for you.
Yeah, the answer is no, he does not do much out in the wing.
Fair enough. I love a bit of Roger. All right, that wraps up the NRL recap. Now to get into a fan favourite. You know what time it is?
Doug's Double, I'd imagine, if it's a fan favourite.
No, it is the hotline time.
Oh, the hotline.
We have opened the hotlines again, and you know what that means. Who knows?
What does it mean?
Who knows? This week, we haven't listened to one of them, so anything that you hear, we are hearing for the first time. Could be anything. Producer Link, where are we kicking off the shenanigans?
Well, I got to tell you, lads, it looks like you're in for it because the first one's titled Unhappy Chappy.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
You ready to go?
Ready to go.
Jason Bourne.
Blue Air, cheers, and cheers. Gents, took the missus to the Manly Eels game on Friday, and being a Manly supporter myself, don't judge me, I thought I'll take the Eels support of the game, give her a hiding, finally put her in her place. Oh, fuck me. Didn't they shit the bed? Shows you how much Cherry Evans means to him. And he's not a lot, lads. So that's fun. Not to mention Texas, the fucking baseball team,
Okay.
shit the bed 6 days in a row. So they're on a fucking L6 losing streak. What else can go wrong? Honestly, what else can go wrong? I need a Doug's double to fucking
No, you
knock
don't.
me
Oh,
up here
Jesus.
because
No,
it's
you
infuriating.
don't.
Wow.
It's infuriating.
Well, that sounds to me like we might have. That's Manly Para was last week.
I think we might have missed that one last
Okay,
week,
well, wow. So he's actually copped that. Then he's the Rangers, who's actually a sworn enemy of the Angels in the American League West. So he's had a pretty tough week.
Yeah.
Relied on Doug's double there to save him. So we honestly may never hear from him
Yeah.
again if he's still
but
with
if
us.
he was unhappy last week,
Oh,
I don't
he
know
might
what
not
he.
be unhappy
I don't
now.
know. I don't want to know what he is this week.
Yeah, wow. A big fan of the taking a Para fan to the Para game and
Yeah.
them winning and not getting a route. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
put a hiding on her. Love
Yeah,
it. Love it.
that.
Good start.
Thank you, unhappy chappy.
Yeah, thank you.
Call again if you're with us still.
Maybe happy chappy.
Hello, lads. This is Gazza from Nowra calling up. Long time
Nowra.
listener, first time caller. Now, Doug, my question's for you. There's been some pretty vicious rumours going around South Coast.
Oh, fuck.
And after Pete from Ulladulla called up, it reminded me about this one. Is it true that you have a bastard half-brother that no one knows about? Can you please address this rumour once for all and put it to bed?
This is the
Thank you, lads.
vicious.
Love the show.
Thank you. And thank you for calling. Thank you. Sorry, we should have mentioned that before.
Why am I
Unhappy
getting all the
chappy.
fucking questions?
Thanks for calling as always. Doug, please answer the man.
I think you might be better off telling this story than I am.
Well, I don't really know the answer, to be quite honest. Look, there was a rumor that flew around our friends group in high school for quite a while that you did have a bastard half brother.
So dumb.
I don't know if we ever got clarification if that was real. Maybe we need to give the old man a call at some point, but there was allegations. I don't know the answer. You're probably better to answer than me.
Yeah, well, I don't really have much of an answer. I don't know how a rumor randomly starts about you having a half brother.
Well, I believe his occupation. I remember his occupation now that I think about it.
Oh
Also.
yeah, so he's a very, very wealthy and a successful
Yeah.
man. Ranger Jamie, he
Giving him out.
what? I'm allowed to do that, aren't I?
Sure, it's your brother.
Well, I don't know how we've got any relation. Don't even look alike. He's about 4'3". I'm 6'2". 85 to 88 kegs. So you got nothing in relation. To be honest, I don't even know why we're even like. I don't see.
Just answering the calls.
Yeah, just answering the calls. Look, I'm not going to. What's the word I'm looking for here?
He's not going to acknowledge it.
Not going to acknowledge it. Yeah,
Okay.
It's a bit of a nothing question here, really.
Well, there's your answer. Thank you for calling, as
Yeah.
always.
Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah,
Jeez, you
appreciate it.
hit a sore spot there. On to the next.
This can't be for me again.
Just another week for
Oh,
me
oh,
to get
fuck,
to
it is too.
tell
I knew
Big
it.
Dilrood Sandstorm that he's a big friggin' dickhead.
Big freaking dickhead.
And
good.
go Queensland.
Yeah, how'd that go for you, champ?
Yeah, so good to see the female audience already turning on me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Queensland fan though. So the
Pretty
real winner
brave.
here is for me. Yeah, so
pretty
thanks,
brave
sweetheart.
calling up.
Yeah. How's the floods going?
Thanks for the call as always. Get fucked.
Yeah.
Hey Doug, just
Oh,
want
fuck
to
me.
know when one of your doubles is gonna hit. Currently eating noodles due to you. Clown.
Clown.
Great sign off there. Thank you for the call.
Yeah. Look, mate, doing it pretty tough at the moment. Look, there's going to be some news coming out with Doug's doubles. So, look, it could be on for a happy victory afternoon. Yeah, look, trying my best, not doing my best.
Are the viewers getting you down? Is that
No,
what's happening?
No one can get me down.
Okay. Thank you for the call. Sorry for the noodles. We'll lift you soon.
Yeah, g'day boys. Pete from Ulladulla
Oh,
here again. Just want to say, loving the content, love the live stream last week. Apart from some of the extremely crude comments in the live chat, that was a bit disappointing. But nevertheless, just got a question about that absolute fuckwit Scotsman that called in screaming last week.
We
I haven't
recall.
heard a Scotsman scream that loud since the bloody tour guide caught the missus giving me a blowjob at Edinburgh Castle, 2002. Don't know what his deal is. Nearly bloody blew me fucking eardrums out. Anyway, boys, just want to say love the show. Keep it up.
Oh,
Roosters.
finally. Go
Go
Roosters.
Roosters.
Oh, fuck me dead. Just as I was about to say, finally.
Great
a good
sign-off.
call. He
Great
fucking
sign-off.
ruins it all.
So P from
Oh, P
Ulladulla
from
is a
Ulladulla.
Roosters fan.
Yeah, wow. So
Wow,
he's a
wouldn't have picked
return
that.
caller, and he's not happy with
The Scotsman, the
Scottish
flying
guy.
Scotsman.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not going to pick a bone with our
no, I mean,
international audience.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for the call.
Yeah,
as
that's
always.
a great call. So that's what we want more of. So.
And hopefully all was good after the tour guide incident. That sounds
that is very fucking
jailable.
funny. That's very good there.
Thank you, Pete.
G'day, fellas.
No.
Wazza from Warrington Downs here again.
No.
Sorry I'm a little bit hoarse, fellas. Big day at the footy yesterday. Oh, did you see those pennies just rip and tear into those Parramatta Eels? That's fresh off the back of winning State of Origin. Penny Panthers 10, Queensland 6. This week will be a challenge day. We're up against the NRL favourite Tigers. I got no doubt they'll probably throw Casey Badger in the bunker. See what she can manipulate for the NRL pets this week. But I'm telling you, fellas, you heard it here first. Pennies by 20. We're coming for you. We're coming for you, those Bulldogs, the other NRL favourites. 5 in a row, fellas. Get on it.
Rawr.
See you, boys.
Oh, fuck. Was that from Warrington Downs?
Thank you for the call.
Fuck, that is a very, very passionate
Thank
call.
you for the call. Was
Oh, wow. He's got a fucking point, you know.
Yeah, I mean...
Penrith Panthers, 10 fucking Queensland Eels. That was good.
I think we actually were saying that on the live stream as well. We were saying, Woz will be happy here, another Penrith try
Yeah,
score.
no, he was was in the live chat.
Oh,
he
right.
was with us. Yeah. That was him actually commenting and going, Penrith fucking 4, Queensland 6.
That's hilarious.
That's very good. Thank you, Wazza.
Thank you for the call, Wazza.
Hey, dribblers. That little weasel Ginnivan, the way he carries on like he's a bloody superstar. Well, Guinea, you fucking ain't. You're barely a premiership player. You were the sub and you didn't do shit. So that medal probably not deserved to be hanging around your neck. Big deal. You kick a couple of goals early on Friday night and carry on like you've won it already. Then what happened? You did a fucking Chuck Norris and went missing in action. Come back when you can run for more than 2 quarters, you little turd. For goodness sake, you couldn't even catch the 50-year-old sidey running down the wing at the G. It was like you were on a treadmill. Give yourself an uppercut, you little maggot. Peace out, dribblers.
Thank you for the call. No name there, but a lot of passion.
Oh, wow. I take it that's a Collingwood fan.
That had to be a Collingwood fan.
Mind you, he did bag steal Sidebottom out a little bit. Yeah, but Guinea, wow.
Just very hateful.
Well, he did turn up. He was good.
Great.
31 and 3, I think he was. But yeah, I mean, he was serving him up a little bit in that first quarter.
Yep.
And I love it personally because
whatever that caller left in without giving himself a moniker or a name, he really made up for in pure passion.
I like that.
I love that.
I like that a lot.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you. Would love to thank you, but I don't know who you are.
Thank you.
This is James Graham here. Excuse the accent. I'm from the north of England, I think. I just wanted to get your opinion on the Bulldogs. It seems as though they're favouring Bailey Hayward over Reid Marnie, and I just can't get this out of my head. I've been feverishly masturbating because of it. So let me know what you guys think.
Is that the real James Graham?
I think that was the real James
Graham.
Thank
NRL
you.
legend.
Yeah. Can we just get a round of applause for James Graham?
Wow.
Thank you for calling in the show. It's
We've
a real
got an
honour.
NRL legend finally calling into this hotline. That's a big step for us.
To answer his question, what do you think about the Bulldogs in general, for one?
Look, I think we all know how I feel about the Bulldogs and their fans. So, Frank, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, no, hate the fans, hate the club. That's about it, really.
Okay, so you got no take on Bailey Hayward?
I like him as a player for sure, and it seems like they're developing in him. I think he's a good player. We'll see what happens with him. I wouldn't say I'm feverishly masturbating over him as James Graham was.
Well, I dare say Reid Marnie will be out of the club from the end of the year.
He's gone for sure. He's gone ski. Hayward will go into 9, but I don't know. I kind of feel like he's a better ball player, like a second receiver sort of lock sort of territory. But we'll see where he ends up. Reid Marnie is Gornsky for sure.
Always good to have the NRL experts calling up the other experts. That'll be us.
Appreciate the call.
James.
Thank you, James. Appreciate the call.
Last one, lads.
Righto.
Jesus, thank
Let's
God.
end well.
Yeah, boys, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to both of you. I'm just following on from your live stream on Twitch on Wednesday for the Origin game. Firstly, Doug, how did the Bunnies go on the weekend against the Waz, bro?
Oh, come on.
And also to Frank, please, bro, be very careful next time you do the Pukana on camera, bro. Thank you.
Oh, fuck it. That's very good. Is that got a name?
Was there a name there?
No name.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Well, good to see that we're crossing the Tasman
Yeah. Wow.
to a New Zealand fan. But yeah, no, I definitely have to work on my Pukana. I didn't want to do it. I was sort of forcibly made to by the chat.
Yeah,
But
well, you're treading down a dangerous territory there,
I
mate.
might rub that one off the big wheel.
Yep.
And what did he say about you, Doug?
I just said, did I catch the Waz game?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I did catch it. They lost. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, very good. That was
Thank
very
you.
funny.
Yeah, thank you for the call as always. Thank you to all the callers. If you do want to call in and leave us a voicemail, it doesn't have to be about us in particular. It can be about, something that you saw on the weekend in a sport or your team.
You just want to call up and call us a fuckwit.
Yeah,
Plenty of them.
You can also do that. So plenty of areas you can call in, leave us a voicemail. You can do that at memo.fm/dribblesportsafe.
Very good, Frank. Well done.
Thank you very much. And that wraps up the hotline. So
beautiful.
That leads us into a quick UFC preview. We're going to run through some scraps. We'll quickly touch on them. Won't spend a lot of time here. And then we'll get into the preview and then we'll get out of here.
Take the reins, brother.
Righto. So kicking off the main card, we have Vicente Luque paying $3.20, taking on Kevin Holland, $1.38. I do not like this matchup very much for Luque. I think he is pretty much done with his career. Unfortunately, he's took a career worth of damage, more than the average guy, and unfortunately, this is starting to show. He does have very good jiu-jitsu still, but Holland is, I think he can match him enough, and he's just got way more power on the feet at this point. So, unfortunately, I think Holland may get Luque. I wouldn't bet Holland at $1.38 just because the guy doesn't take his career very seriously, but for mine, I think Holland probably finishes him by TKO, unfortunately.
Nice.
Anything to add?
Nah, not at all, mate. Off his door. Like I said, take the reins, brother.
All right, next up the card, we have the UFC debut of Patchy Mix, paying $1.59, taking on Mario Bautista, $2.45. Patchy Mix in on short notice, I believe, like 2 to 3 weeks. Doug?
I will put input here. What in who the hell is Apache Mix?
Yeah, Patchy Mix. So he is...
Is he got to be Brazilian?
No, American.
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, he's American. He is. He's from PFL and Bellator.
Okay,
yeah.
So the Patchy Mix is his real name, is what I was getting to?
I don't know if Patchy's his real name, but he goes by Patchy. I think it might be Patrick or something. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
But he is the husband of Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah,
yes. Who's a women's fighter. He is her husband, but he's also ex-PFL champion. He's a pretty good guy. And he comes in against Bautista, who was supposed to be fighting Chito Vera on 3 weeks' notice. So, yeah, pretty big matchup here, I'd say. I don't know. I wouldn't pay $1.60 for him, to be honest. I think Mario Bautista is pretty fucking good and, has had the full camp. So, for me, Mario Bautista is definitely the betting side. Should be a good scrap. Patchy's like a pretty good jiu-jitsu. He's got like some pretty good submissions and stuff like that. So, I think Bautista's safe enough, and $2.45 is a great price for mine.
Very nice.
Next up the card, we have Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer.
Any relation to Michelle?
No relation there, I believe, but I don't know his family lineage, so it could be anything. $1.27 taking on the Mexican fridge, Kelvin Gastelum, $3.90.
Mexican fridge.
He may be paying $3.90 head to head, but he's paying $1.05 to miss weight. That's for sure.
I love Kelvin.
If you look at this bloke, he is a fridge with legs.
Yes.
It's almost
burritos.
It's almost like
fajitas.
Nothing I've ever seen. But this one was scheduled for UFC Mexico. It got cancelled because Pyfer got food poisoning and blamed the whole country of Mexico, which is a great move, I think. A very good heel move. I liked it. But Pyfer is just better everywhere than Gastelum. Better striker, better submissions, better wrestler. I think he can, honestly, I played submission in his last fight before it got cancelled. I probably play it again here. I think he submits Gastelum.
Yep, beautiful.
Co-main event of the evening, we have the champion, Juliana Pena, paying $5.30.
Holy hell, for a champion.
Yeah. Taking on Kayla Harrison, $1.17. What do you reckon about this one?
Oh, no, I know this Kayla Harrison. That's the one she's a fucking
She's
unit.
jacked.
Yeah, she's jacked.
She's jacked.
But she's only fresh into the UFC, though, right?
Yeah, I think she's had 3 fights. Again, another
But she's bashed the fuck out of
PFL.
everyone she's played. Yeah, that's
Correct.
what. She was a PFL champion, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep, and now she takes on Pena. I mean, it's not like if Harrison's going to bash her or not. She's going to bash her for sure. The question is if Pena can survive, because we've only really seen Harrison go 3 rounds. And she does not look good in the third one for sure because she cuts a lot of weight. She's a massive girl.
So you're telling me there's a chance this could go for 5 rounds?
I think if Pena survives the first 2, yeah, I think there's a definite chance this go 5 rounds.
That sounds like terrible viewing.
Yeah, I mean, that's hell. If you needed to, see it on Earth, that is it.
Yep.
I don't know. I just think Harrison's gonna just wrestle. She's an Olympic level judo girl, gold medal judo.
Do you know who you're messing with, Holmes?
Yep. Harrison, I think, just gets it down, elbows her head off. Should finish her.
Very nice.
Finisher. And the main event of the evening, we have the Machine Marab Davalishvili, $1.37, taking on Sugar Sean O'Malley, $3.30. I don't know if he dropped the Sugar name. I'm not sure. Saw something in the preview about that, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a wide price still for mine. Like, I know Marab and the way he fights, and O'Malley's got a puncher's chance as much as anyone, but $3.30 on O'Malley just feels pretty good. Marab's long had some chin issues, like he's been wobbled in almost every single fight. He's just got unlimited cardio, does not stop, and that's his biggest weapon. But yeah, $3.30. You probably get like $4.50 on the KO for O'Malley. I think that's probably playable and probably his path to victory. So that's what I'd play. Otherwise, Marab is going to drown him. Unlikely to get a finish because Marab does not finish. Marab by decision or O'Malley by TKO.
Very nice. Thank you, Frank. What we'll probably do is as well, we'll probably do have a clip out on Instagram or TikTok this week. Probably just Frank doing a quick, very brief 60-second summary of all 5 fights, who he thinks is going to win, how they're going to win. That'll be up on Instagram and that with the betting slips. If you want to look for a betting angle for the weekend, make things a bit more exciting for you. As Frank is our local UFC MMA expert.
And come tune into the stream on Sunday where we watch the fights. We'll be giving out some bets there as well. So make sure you come tune in for that. Should be pretty fun. All right, up the list to the next area of proceedings. AFL run through. Doug, let's
AFL
absolutely pump this out.
Alrighty, let's do it the fast way. Western Bulldogs, $1.51. Hawthorn, $2.58. Frank, who are you tipping?
Hawthorn's going to get the fuck bashed out of him. I love the Dogs, and the Dogs will maul them.
I agree. Line's 11.5. I think that's pretty safe to say. This will be at Marvel. I think Hawthorn will bounce back, but I think the Doggies are points merchants, and they're going to put more than 100 on Hawthorn.
I agree. And
Well
I think Dogs midfield will just maul them.
Awesome.
They'll be all over them.
Next game in Adelaide. Adelaide, $1.62. Play Brisbane, $2.31. Line 8.5. This one for me, like we've touched on before,
don't know about this one.
Won't give him his flowers often, but I will give Frank his flowers for this one. You always pick Brisbane at plus money. And as much as Adelaide have been hurting teams, Brisbane, I don't know. I think there's a lot of value in playing Brisbane head-to-head here.
I agree.
I know it's at Adelaide, and they do score a fuckload of points at Adelaide, the Crows. But again, this is still a team that won the flag a year ago. They're still...
And they got good defenders. They got Harris Andrews. They got Jack Payne. They got Jasper Fletcher who can match up on any of those, Rochellis or Smalls or any of those kind of guys. Good defensive unit. Brisbane, $2.31 is exactly where you want to play them for
That's
mine.
right.
So I think you're on the money. I'm with you.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Love to see this.
Yep.
All right, next game of the week. It is Jesus.
Yeah, my God, this is a heartbreak game, I tell you that.
Yeah, we've got Richmond at home, $2.83. Play the Swannies, $1.43. Line in 14.5. I am scared to go to this one. It's the long weekend. I don't want to ruin my Saturday and go into the MCG and watch my team get touched up by the fucking Tigers.
How can you not play Richmond $2.83 here?
It's
like, seriously.
Literally.
How can you not?
That's exactly right.
If effort is worth $1, Richmond should be favourites.
Have the Swans won at the MCG in the last fucking 12 months? Because I tell you, they've lost by 100 to them last week or the week before to the fucking Demons.
Lost to Melbourne, yeah.
Melbourne, sorry. And then they lost the grand final by 300 points.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I don't feel confident at all. I don't know how they're $1.40.
And Richmond just, competed for 3 quarters against
and
the
they've
GWS.
got what do they have more than most teams, especially the Swans?
Who's that?
Ticker.
Who's Richmond?
The Tigers.
Yeah, they got a bit in them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, effort. Absolutely.
Yep. I'm just gonna say the Tigers are gonna get this. They'll cover 14.5.
I don't know how the fuck you can pay Swans $1.43 at this point. We are horrific as a squad. No. Confidence is low. I don't think anyone really comes back. Maybe a Marty this week, if not next.
No.
For me, Richmond $2.83 is a gem.
Yep, we're not biased here, obviously. But Swans
week.
are going to need more than Grundy, Warner, and Heaney to light them up. So I'm taking Richmond also. Unfortunately.
And they beat us at the MCG last year. I remember it very clearly.
Because you were there.
I don't know if I was there, but they fucked us up.
Okay.
Yep.
And we've got Geelong playing at home, $1.39. Gold Coast, $3.02. Line 17.5. Again, this could be potentially a great game. We've got the new Brownlow favourite, potentially, Bailey Smith, on an absolute heater. They do look good at home. Jeremy Cameron finally firing down at full forward, kicking goals for fun. Mind you, this is still a very strong Gold Coast team at $3. It's quite juiced. I know they're playing in Geelong, but again, I've said this every week. Geelong aren't unbeatable. They did lose to the Giants, who put only won by 3 points to Richmond's last week. Like they it's not hard to do.
This is the biggest price you would have seen Gold Coast at all year for mine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a squad that's ranking and rating as good as any. Like
That's
they're
right.
just on par with Geelong in terms of the premiership. You know, the fucking footy, SEN radio talks about it all the time. The parameters you need to be premiership contenders. Gold Coast are in there
Absolutely.
in terms of their offense and their defense.
They're right
So
in there.
to get $3.02, I think line 17.5 for the Gold Coast is pretty fair. I'd probably have a nibble on that. I mean, I think Geelong and GMHBA is enough to like be the favourite for sure, but $3.02 is wide.
Yeah, that'll be a Sunday Arvo fixture. Oh, sorry, Saturday afternoon fixture. I think probably the 4 o'clock game.
The 4.
And it's meant to be blowing a gale and miserable for the next few days down here. So I'm going to watch that one closely. 17.5, I think, is very generous. So.
Me too.
Are you going to take the Cats still?
I think Cats win, but I think Gold Coast cover.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a great game.
Me too.
I think Geelong will win.
Yep.
All right, next we have the GWS play Port Adelaide Giants, $1.31. Port Adelaide $3.50. Line 21.5. Don't know. The Giants sweated out against the Richmond Tigers last week. I think it's going to be the same case for this week against Port. They are at home still. Port Adelaide have to travel there. Port Adelaide almost seems like they've just fucking thrown all their fucking coins in a hat and just let it up to fade because they're not really dishing much. I think I'd be surprised if Ken Hinkley's even coaching after this week.
I think GWS bash them. Port Adelaide travelling to NG. Have no backman, have no backline. Hogan had a terrible game last week. I think he kicks 14 this week.
Okay.
And I think GWS win.
Very nice. I'm taking Giants too.
Yep.
And then we have the Spoon Bowl. Did we not watch this like a few weeks ago, the Spoon Bowl?
I feel like I might have, yeah.
Okay, well, we're watching it again, which is always great. North Melbourne, $1.44, play West Coast, $2.37, line 8.5. Look, not much I want to talk about in this game. I haven't really seen much from either team. Again, North Melbourne are the better team on paper.
Yep.
But I wouldn't be surprised if West Coast win. It's in a close one.
I've actually been watching, unfortunately, to my dismay, like a bit of the West Coast games the last few weeks. Obviously, I had some bets on Dawson against, like from Adelaide against West Coast. So I watched most of that game, and I watched who they played last week as well. And they're competing like pretty well for 3 quarters. They've been in there against good clubs. It was Geelong last week.
Yep.
They competed for about 3 quarters and were pretty neck and neck, and then they just keep getting blown out in the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if North have got the sticks to blow them out in the 4th.
Nah.
So if they're competing for 3 quarters, they could do North this week, to be honest.
What's what I was going to say the exact same thing for North. Like when they played Collingwood a few weeks ago, they were with them for 3 quarters. In fact, in front, mind you, Collingwood had missed a lot of shots on goal, but they were with it for 3 quarters and then they drop off.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to see what happens the scores are at 3-quarter time for either team, and then what the final result is. I honestly think I want to play West Coast here.
Yeah, I agree. North Melbourne just not doing a whole lot for me, and
I don't feel safe at $1.44.
No way, Jose.
All right. And then we have an absolute stinker, probably 2 of the least favourite teams on this podcast. It's the Carlton Blues, $1.44, playing the Essendon Bombers, $2.80, line 14.5. Frank, would you like to...
Jeez, I tell you what, this is really scraping the bottle. It's the top of my hate list, really.
Well, lucky we have a long weekend this weekend, so this isn't how you're going to finish your weekend. So smile for that. We got another game of football up our sleeve.
Well, that's good to know. It does make me feel slightly better. But Carlton, $1.44. Oh, I couldn't back him with your money. Essendon, pathetic, but could get up this week. I don't know. How do you feel about this one? I don't have a strong read.
Yeah,
I mean it's a huge pass for me. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not betting on either of them.
I feel like it's the same story every week. Essendon show signs, but then just turn up on the game day and have fuck all to do. Like Martin's playing good.
Yeah, he is.
Merritt has been quiet for his standards, but arguably everyone expects him to everyone's expecting him to have 35 a game, and honestly, I think there's a bit too much pressure on the young lad's shoulders. But again, I honestly think this would be Carlton in the close one.
Yeah, I'm interested. I think I've always liked the Essendon midfield. I hate the rest of their team, but the midfield is pretty good. Like, got the likes of Durham and Caldwell with Merritt, and I really do like those 3 guys. But up against Carlton and Cripper and Walsh, who's been pretty average for mine, and Hewitt, who's been pretty good. I think it's a pretty good matchup. So it's just whether Essendon can lock down Curnow and Mackay, and I kind of think they can't.
Yeah.
But I'm not playing them $1.44. Fuck no, I don't trust them within a stone's throw of that.
Yeah, I won't be having a bet on this one, but I will be tipping Carlton.
Yep.
I just think they've got more in the tank than Essendon do. Better on paper as well.
Yep.
And then last game of the week, it is the big freeze game. That would be for MND, I believe.
NMD.
NMD?
NMD.
No, it's MND, motor neurons disease. Thank you, Frank. It
Yep.
is Collingwood, $1.27 play. Melbourne Demons, $3.82. Line 23.5 there.
Yep.
I'm going to be there.
Shout out to Neil Danaher.
Big shout out to Neil Danaher.
Doing his thing. The big freeze, tell you what, there isn't a worse time to do it. It is cold in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this game? Well, you're going to be there, so you'll be back in Collingwood, no doubt, the Dacos brothers.
Yeah, it'll be at a sellout. And as I always say at the MCG, Josh and Nick will have 30, maybe a few more. Honestly, I'll tell you what I'm excited for mostly.
Yep.
Fucking Jamie Elliott. Let's see how many can fucking
true.
kick on the Demons this week. Who is going to play on him? Surely they don't
Have
put
to be.
Lever on him. They cannot, because Elliott's been playing like half forward, but just always rolls forward. Like I'm trying to think of the. Oh, I tell you, who's not going to be playing? Who's that? Who's the red-headed bloke from Melbourne? That's averaging 400. Harry something.
The Ranger.
Yeah, the Ranger.
Yeah, no.
Like, I honestly think they're going to struggle.
No, not Billings.
No. Oh no, it's not Jack Billings. Look, regardless, they're going to struggle to match up on Collingwood's forward line. And for once, that's I think the first time I've ever said that about a team matching up on Collingwood's forward line because they're all kicking goals now.
Yeah.
Elliott had 5. Myercheck had 4. Bobby
cooking.
Hill hasn't even been popping in and out. He's kicking some.
The Demons don't even have a forward pack. That's why it's such shambolic that they kicked 130 versus Swans 2 weeks ago.
That's what it comes down to for this one, Frank. You've got the best defence in the comp against one of the worst attacks governed by the last few weeks. They will need to shut down Cozzy Pickett. I just think Collingwood have been too strong here.
He's on fire.
Yeah, they just put 50 points on Hawthorn last week.
Yeah, I think Collingwood win for sure.
Yep. I think the train keeps on rolling for Collingwood.
Love it.
Unbiased here.
Yeah, we're not biased, but pencil in one of the Dacos brothers for Doug's player of the round next round.
Yeah.
And into the NRL preview, we have Game 1 kicking off, and it is a Game 1 special. It is. The Knights, $2.45 taking on Manly, $1.56, line 4.5. Doug, tell me your thoughts on this Thursday night classic.
Just happy to see this one not at Four Pines Park. We'll say it every week they don't play at home, to be honest. But yeah, Knights, Manly, is it a Thursday night?
I think this is a Thursday night,
Oh, yeah, wow. So that's, again, it's the same old story. The Thursday night favourite. I think there'll be a sellout there in Newcastle.
I don't.
I'm expecting
the they're playing.
That was a joke. I'm expecting about 6 people there, 2 of which could have been us if the Newcastle Knights bounced back from Frank's heroic efforts on social media over the weekend.
Cowards.
But no, honestly, mate, I won't watch it. I'm not going to watch a second of it.
Mm-hmm.
What about yourself, mate? You got anything for this game?
I've got this one highlighted just because I think Manly $1.56, but line only 4.5. I think if Manly are winning, it's by 400.5. So it just seems a little bit short for my liking. I actually think the Manly Seagulls have been playing better with Lehigh in fullback, with Turbo just, underdone.
I love Lehigh. Is he
I love him
related to
too.
the Hopper?
Yeah, it's his son.
Lehigh is the Hopper.
Big John Hopper's son.
So how's Albert come into the equation?
Brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they are all related.
Father, son. Yeah, I didn't know if it was like an uncle in there.
No, I'm pretty sure John is his actual dad.
John Hopper,
Albert
is a fucking lunatic.
But
mate.
Albert is definitely his brother.
Fuck yeah. All right, well, good for Lehigh.
Yeah, and he seems like way less of a mongrel than the
And
rest
about
of them.
half the weight.
Yeah, he's a small bastard compared to him. But he's, super skillful. He's actually top 4 in post-contact meters in the comp.
He must have his mum's body. With all due respect.
Which is
Probably
hilarious.
should go up to John Upperwadi's wife or ex-wife. Wives.
But yeah, I think Manly win, and if they win, they probably win well, just given the trend of Manly. So line 4.5, I'll be taking that. Next game of the week, we have the Melbourne Storm. This one in Melbourne, $1.20, taking on North Queensland Cowboys, $4.60, line 14.5. I kind of think the head-to-head price is a bit wide, just because Storm aren't blowing teams out of the park besides the Tigers there, especially in Melbourne. Like, it's been pretty competitive. And North Queensland, do have points on their day, like we touched on earlier. So, and it's not like Melbourne's defense is amazing at the moment. They are conceding points. So I kind of think head-to-head is a little bit wide, but for me, Storm win just off class.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I said, literally what you said was what I was going to say. They score a lot of points, the Cowboys, but Storm at home, hard to beat.
Yep, love it. Next game of the week, we have the Dolphins, $1.54, taking on St. George Dragons, $2.49, line 5.5. Doug, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the Dolphins are definitely the better of the two teams, and that's saying something because the Dragons are fucking awful. Mind you, so are the Dolphins. I just see way more attacking and upside in the Dolphins. I think the St. George Dragons are just sort of battling through 80 minutes. They've got glimpses.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Gutho does his bit. Did Tuipulotu come back last week?
No, but I think he's back this week.
Yeah, okay. So he was great for them in the opening rounds. So hopefully that adds a little bit to
I
their
also
attack.
thought that young guy that they had on the weekend, Nathan, I can't remember his last name. I don't want to butcher it. Lawson, maybe?
It was Nathan Lawson.
Yeah, I actually thought he was pretty good. So I almost, he'll be battling for a spot. I mean, Tuipulotu gets it for sure, but
with the money.
he looks like he's got a bit about him, that kid.
Yeah. like I said, this would be the what is this Saturday Arvo clash? Or
Might be Saturday morning. Saturday, yeah, like
Saturday
early
morning.
Early
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, like I said, I think Dolphins will win this one, mate. If it's up in Queensland on a dry track, the Dolphins will be putting a few points on the Dragons, I think.
Yeah, I like it. Hammer back in, big tick into fullback, Averillo back into the right centre position.
Averillo with you.
Which means I think their Dragons left side would probably have a bit of success here, just given Averillo can't make a tackle. But yeah, I think Dolphins too many points. Herbie and Bostock will have a field day on the left.
Marvellous.
Go Herbie. Next game of the week, we have my Cronulla Sharks playing $4, taking on the Warriors $1.20 line, 6.5.
Anything stand out for you there?
Just a head-to-head price being absurd.
I did this because I wanted to see what Frank's reaction would be. I'm pretty sure Sharks are favourites.
Oh, geez.
But I was going to say. I just wanted to see. how that rubbed you up.
Fucking hell.
$4, they're the longest odds besides the Cowboys.
I'm looking at that going, geez, that seems wide for a home game.
I may have altered with the run sheet there. Obviously, the Sharks getting mauled by the Roosters 2 weeks ago. I'm surprised they won to the bye last week. So I thought it'd be funny to see how Frank would react to $4. Honestly, you're a smart man. I would have thought you go, that can't be right. But to be honest, the fact that he accepted it goes to show how the belief he has in his own football team this week against the Warriors. So
yeah, look, I did say that was an absurd price.
The Warriors won't be going home either. They'll be still in Sydney.
Yeah, this is the Luke Metcalf Cup.
Yes,
and I think he's going to show exactly how stupid we were to let him go.
All the Lanso Hire Cup. All the Adam Fanua Blake Cup.
Yep. All the Nigel Vunganar Cup.
Yep. Nope, that's right. Yep.
But I think... Interesting game.
Actually, did Vunganar go to the Warriors? I think it went to the Rabbitohs.
I think he did go to the Rabbitohs.
He might have, somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Warriors is playing a good style of footy at the moment. I mean, what is the real price? Any idea?
No, sorry, mate. You just have to guess.
Well, if Warriors were underdogs, I'd probably play him. I mean, this is a great game, right? Because you've got the AFB narrative, you've got the Metcalf narrative. Our Ronaldo is still out.
I think Sharks are $1.80 and Warriors are like $2.
Yeah, I'd probably play Warriors at underdog price.
Oh,
but look, Sharks at Shark Park have been pretty fucking good. So yeah, I don't know. Close match. Wouldn't be involved in it too much, to be quite honest.
Yep. I hope the Warriors win by 40.
Thanks, mate.
That's all I've got to say about that.
Thank you very much. Next game of the week.
And on saying that, next
game of the week, we have the Canberra Raiders, $1.39 taking on the South, $3 flat, line 8.5. Look, Canberra just way more of a gritty team. South's a bunch of cowards. I think they win by 30.
You cannot say they're grittier than South. This is going to be a fucking unbelievable game. This is the green battle of the two green teams. I'm telling you, South have got the fucking reinforcements we've been waiting for to get back. The Jack Whiten Cup. And Jack is back this week. I'm telling you, this is going to be an awesome game.
Okay.
Whether it's high scoring, low scoring, I think South's going to win this. And this is the first time I'm saying this in a long time where I think South's going to actually win this game.
Yep.
In Canberra, I'm excited. It's going to be a fucking very physical game. Probably a few send-offs. Sin bins.
Oh, yeah. You can pencil in Big Red.
Pencil in Big Red. Hudson Young, maybe.
Probably Jai Arrow.
Maybe Cody Walker.
Yeah.
Look, everyone in that list has got potential to get sin bin. Let's hope it's an absolute great game.
Yep.
8.5. Given the fact that it could be miserable down there, I reckon South to cover that line's pretty juicy for mine.
Fair enough. Couldn't disagree more. Canberra bashing by 40. Cheers.
Cheers.
Next game of the week. Brizzy Broncos, $1.32 taking Gold Coast Titans, $3.42, line 9.5. How could you possibly play Brisbane Broncos at $1.32 at this point?
What can you have to say about this one?
Honestly? I think the Gold Coast Titans just get up.
That's pretty good. $3.42. They cover the line.
They get up. This is the Brizzy clash, the clash of Queensland, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Titans are playing okay footy, match up pretty well forward pack wise.
Tell you what, that's two very good games prior to this one on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's a good Saturday. I think this game will be pretty good, to be honest. It'll be points galore.
Actually, sorry, that's wrong on my case because with the long weekend, the Bulldogs Eels is Monday. Brisbane, this would be the first game Sunday. Sorry, this would be the first game Sunday. My mistake there.
That's okay. But yeah, I like Gold Coast Titans here. I think Jaden Campbell was outstanding last week. So if they put him back into fullback again, or who knows, Brimo comes back in, they got a bit of class, just sort of waiting to come back in. And Brizzy just shambolic at the moment. They can't defend for shit. They'll probably have some points. I think the overs would be a good play here, to be quite honest. I think there's a lot of points. But you give me Titans at $3.42 against a club that's in fucking turmoil, I'll take that every day of the week.
Very nice.
Anything to add?
Yeah, look, Brisbane have been so bad and just losing to all the teams. Like, they just lost to Manly by 30, like, at home last week. Like, what's to say Titans can't do the exact same thing? And I think Titans are better offensively than Manly. So, Titans.
Okay, love it. Next game of the week, we have West Tigers, $3.37, taking on Wazza from Warrington.
Penny
Penrith Panthers, $1.32. Line 9.5.
It's Panthers season.
It has to be Penrith, right?
It's Panthers season. I think they are fucking up and about.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're going to play who they're going to play, but I don't think it matters, to be honest. I think they're going to fucking win and win convincingly.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
I think it's like what you said. It's one of those games where Tigers are due to get flogged, which might seem like every week, but I think this is going to be an absolute flogging.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Penrith will turn up because obviously they got the Luai, the Luai to River narrative. So West would probably, they'll probably be up for this one too. But Penrith, just clear his kicking game and if they can actually defend and not score points, not get points scored on them, they'll be very hard to beat here, I think.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
A little bit too classy for mine.
Yeah, I take Penrith by at least a few tries.
Next and last game of the week, we have the Mad Monday Clash. Is that, what do they call it? King's Birthday Clash?
Yeah, something like that.
We have...
Easter Monday.
It's definitely not. Oh, hang on. Canterbury Bulldogs, $1.43, taking on the Parramatta Eels, $2.83. Line 7.5. Doug, thoughts?
I smell a huge halftime lead. I smell a halftime lead, but I don't see. I see if there's a bet for whoever to was it lead at a halftime and lose, it'll be this game. I don't know who it's going to be, but I'll tell you one thing: if it's the Eels at halftime winning, the Bulldogs will win because there will be a certain personality on Instagram smashing the Bulldogs.
Galvin playing? You reckon?
Yeah.
You think he plays?
I think he plays.
Interesting. I'm not sure what they do because, it hasn't been around long enough. Eels playing okay.
I think because they're playing the Eels, they're going to go, sweet. I reckon Burton goes straight to fullback. I think Tracy misses out.
But he's got the Galvin narrative with the Eels as well. Maybe
that's why he plays.
Maybe it's too close to home.
Nah, it's going to be not a sellout, but it's going to be a lot of people there.
Obviously, we're recording this on Tuesday. Team lists come out this afternoon, so we don't know who's going to stump up here. But, I mean, if you're giving me $1.43 on a Bulldogs that might have a new spine, I'd probably take the Eels, to be quite honest with you.
Wow. Parrot Cave and Talking Parrot podcast are blowing a load at that.
Well, yeah, I'll credit to the Eels when I give it to them. It's not often, but we saw it with the Cowboys a couple of weeks ago. They instantly put Purdue into the halves. I said, changing up the halves pairing on a team that's actually playing decent footy is not particularly ideal. So if they do that here, I'd probably sniff the Eels. If they keep everything the same, I think Bulldogs just way too gritty and get them at the end.
Yep, very nice.
What's your final prediction?
I think the Bulldogs are going to win in a close one. I think it's going to be a long weekend special.
Love it. All right, and that wraps up the AFL and the NRL preview. Now, let's finish off the show with...
Sorry about that.
Doug's favourite segment, Footy Card Multis.
Footy Card Multis. Last week, I had Shea Bolton and Max Holmes from the Geelong Cats. Shea Bolton kicked a great goal. Might have kicked 2, but Max Holmes, although he had about 30 touches, kicked 0 goals, 2 behind. So that didn't cash out. And Frank, I don't believe you had any luck.
No, I had Dunkley, had 0. I had Oscar McInerney, did not play. So we reverted to the second choice, which was Massimo, and he did not kick one either. Okay. So out in straight sets there. However, we are back for more.
That's right. I have behind me here, if you tune into the live stream on Tuesday/Wednesday, whatever it was, one of the punishments was to buy a blaster box, which to me is actually not a punishment. It's a fucking reward because I love these things here. So as you'll see, Frank in front of him has 2 packs. I have 2 packs, Shakur, and we're going to open up another Footy Card Multi. As always, I will kick off.
Yep.
As always, struggling to open up these packets of cards.
You guys know how this works by now.
Yep.
Doug opens a pack. Doug says a number.
Yep.
Whoever that number is in the correlation to the pack is who will be bet on.
All right, so picking the 7th card on this pack.
Yep.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, God, I'm in big trouble.
Who have you started off with, Doug?
Dom Sheed. Is he out?
He's out with an ACL.
Unbelievable, because that means the next card is Jamie Elliott.
Fuck off.
And you know what? I'm going to just say this now live on stream.
Take him for 2.
It's going to be 3.
Whoa!
I'm taking Jamie Elliott for 3. I said this about 20 minutes ago. The Demons have got no one to match up on him. He's going to kick 3 goals. For multi's sake, I might throw 2 in there, but I'm so confident he's going to kick 3.
Okay, like it.
What about you, Franklin? What do you got? Oh my God, sorry.
No,
you got 2
2
for 2. Yeah, my bad.
I'm just prepping to save time.
Sorry. Lots of ruffling over
which
there.
we really should do probably in future. Just open them but we're all about transparency here.
That's right. Big word for me there, transparency.
Yeah, just
here
like
comes.
What was the other word you said on stream that you?
Unanimous.
No, that was it, but there was a different one.
Gentrification. Yeah.
That's it.
All right, 7 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, fuck. Guess who it is?
It's a Hawthorn. I saw a Hawthorn. It's Nick Watson, isn't it?
Yeah. It's fucking Nick Watson.
Oh, it comes full circle, doesn't it?
This is just spent the 5 minutes ranting on how poor he is.
Yep.
Where are they playing? Oh, they're playing Marvel Thursday night against the Bulldogs.
Yep. Could happen.
Could happen. Look, both these guys known for kicking goals. I'm going to
Yeah.
go out on a limb and say that's going to be at least 2 for Watson and maybe 2 or 3. Do you reckon 2? So I know he's going to kick 3, but for the multi's sake of winning, I'm going to go.
It's your multi.
Look, we normally go 1-1. I'm upping it to 2-2 this week. These guys should kick 2. Should
Yep.
get decent-ish odds for that, $3 or $4, right where I like it. So that's me. Jamie Elliott, Nick Watson, 2 goals each for the footy card multi. Cheers.
Great start. I've done some prep work over here and I've got the packs open already. So I'm going to get straight into it. I will go in initially with a 5.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, dear, that is just terrible.
Jeez, there's another backman.
Yep.
Fuck, you are getting no luck on these.
Nathan Broad
Oh, God.
for the Richmond Tigers.
Well,
But we're playing the Swans, so
that's right. You're
could
a
be
huge
worse.
chance. Yeah, yeah.
I
okay.
also got your shiny George Wardlaw, which looks pretty nifty.
Yeah, very nice.
But other than that, fair bit of shit in there. So Nathan Broad anytime, which we'll be paying probably $4
It'll
on
be
its
a broad
own.
multi.
And I'm going to go 7 this time. 1, 2, 3,
Bet you the 5th card's
4.
great.
Oh, wow, that's good. Breakout Riley Thilthorpe. 5, 6, 7. It's a Hawthorn player too. It's not a forward because why would we give Frank a forward in the footy card multi? It is James Warple for the Hawthorn Hawks.
No.
So I tell you what, if that multi doesn't get you about $10, you're probably betting on the wrong website. So
Wow, Frank.
James Warple anytime, Nathan Broad anytime. You could put your house on it. $10.
Oh,
Cheers.
I feel for you. I hope it pays off, brother.
Couple of weeks in a row of some pretty rough picks for me, but that's the nature of the game. We will get them regardless. So that wraps up the. Wow, that's a really nice card too. Who's that? Liam Jones.
Baked Beanhead, 200. It's a
Very nice.
We'll discuss this later on. Sorry, getting sidetracked. Here.
But other than that, that pretty much wraps up the podcast again for this week. Doug's double. Not sure if it's happening this week.
Look, guys, as Frank has touched in recent weeks, we're for the followers here. And to be honest, I'm not delivering to you a quality enough product. This is like the chili pea meth that Jesse Pinkman sell. This isn't the blue shit that everyone's after. And look, I'm not giving you the
I
best.
wasn't sure where you were going with that.
If you got any meth, though, please inbox me. But look, guys, it's just not happening in the moment. I'm trying. Believe me, I'm trying. And it's not to blame, Bet Sniper for their amazing product which they serve. I just can't pick the right stuff.
Yep.
So, look, I'm going to take a bit of a back seat here because at the end of the day, if you've been following Doug's Double for the last month or two and betting $100, you'd be minus 1,500 plus. And that is a serious statement. And, here I am sitting to you telling, claiming to be the expert. So, Frank
But I'm going to say that's great hand up accountability.
That's right.
And I respect you for it.
And trust me, no one wants these doubles to win more than me.
If it was on effort, you'd be cashing every
That's
week,
right.
mate.
I'd be the captain
but
of the effort
unfortunately,
team.
it's not.
That's right. And, last week, or mind you, the result didn't go his way. I think it's time that the my co-host here takes the front seat.
Righto.
There should be some more faith in him. So, Frank, I think just for the next few weeks, mate, I reckon you give the followers what they need and deserve, and that's hopefully a few winners.
Okay. Yep. Well, I appreciate the transparency and the honesty.
Transparency.
It takes takes a lot to realize that and really narrow in on that yourself. So, that's great hand up accountability, but we will love to see Doug's double back very soon.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
To get that confidence back, get back to Bet Sniper.
Yep.
Ask any questions, and let's get Doug's double back
Thank
as
you.
soon as possible.
Yep.
Other than that pretty much wraps up the podcast. As always, shout out to the sponsors, Walker Golf at Walker Golf Things on Instagram, www.walkergolfthings.com. I think we're playing golf tomorrow, so you may see us in some merch. I'm actually wearing the Coca Polo here. You can't see it, but you can see the top of the shirt.
Yep.
We've got the Coca Polo on. And shout out to Bet Sniper as always, affiliate 20 for 20% off. Other than that, I believe that is the podcast done. Doug, anything else you'd like to touch on?
Do you have a fill-up ready for the viewers?
I do not. That'll be a separate Instagram clip.
Yep, I like that.
That we will put out. So keep your eyes on the socials. As always, follow us on the Instagram at... Sorry, geez, I've just had a boo-boo there. At Dribbl...
Speaking of that, while we're doing beeps, I'm going to throw it out there. Frank's a Say that.
At Dribbl Sport on Instagram, on TikTok, on every platform you could ever want.
Yep.
We hit 1,000 followers last week. Don't know about Grinder. We hit 1,000 on Instagram last week. Things are going pretty well. So
we do have a video in regards to we went to the casino.
We did.
That's just in the middle of being processed for your viewing. Like I said, we got content coming out of our ass the next few weeks.
Yep.
So get excited.
See lots of different casino content, betting content, golf content.
Footy content.
UFC
content.
It's all coming.
Nude wrestling. It's all coming. It's coming real hard.
Yeah, coming super hard in the back door. And that's about it for the podcast. So I reckon we wrap it up there. Say goodbye. Thank you for the voicemails as always.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. And we will see you in episode 3. Thank you very much for watching.
Cheers,
Doug,
guys.
Over and out.
Thank you.